What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? We're talking the final month of the season. I'm going to go over some key players for teams in contention. I'm going to go over some predictions for September. Let's get to it. Man, what's going on, baseball fans? How we doing? Hello. Just a few of you here so far. Hopefully a few of you start to trickle in a little more as the show goes on. Not a long one tonight. Hey, I figured it's September 1st. Why not talk about September tonight? So I figured we got a month to go. I'm going to go over some key players that I think are going to be crucial for teams down the stretch, those teams that are in playoff contention. And you know what? I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to go over 5 predictions. They're probably all going to be wrong because I don't ever get predictions right. But you know what? They're fun. Predictions are fun. So, but yeah, we'll see how they go. But everyone, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a good Wednesday. Hope you're all having a good first half of your week. We're almost to the weekend. So, but again, seeing 33 of you right now. Hopefully we get a few more as the show goes on. But before I do get started, if I may, if anyone is new, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 14,000 subscribers. We're almost halfway there. We're actually almost to 13.4K. So that would be awesome if we can get to that before the end of the week. If you guys can, please hit that like button. It's going to help out with the algorithm. Hit that bell notification so you guys get notified of all my streams, all my videos that I upload. And if you guys can, share the stream wherever you can. Any buttons, hit them. I don't care what buttons there are. But alrighty, everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my key players for each team. I'm going to talk about why I think that player is a key player for those teams that are in playoff contention, and I'm going to save the predictions for the end. And I'm guessing I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers with some of these predictions, but it's okay. I'm probably going to get them all wrong anyway. But let's go ahead. Let's get started here. So I'm going to start off in the American League East. Let's start off with the Yankees. This is a guy who I think is going to be key for them in the month of September, and that is Araldis Chapman. What an up and down season this guy has had. This guy lost the closer's role at one point. He's been just all over that bullpen. He's had his struggles. He's had his highs. But I think Araldis Chapman, I think he's going to be a big player for the Yankees. Let's go take a look at Araldis Chapman. So let me pull up the numbers here. All right, so with Araldis Chapman, and also let me play the music. I forgot to play the music the other night. There we go. I'm going to set the mood now. Okay. But let's go take a look at Chapman. Like I said, quite an up and down season this year. He's been a little better as of late, but overall on the year, a 3.77 ERA over 43 innings. Still getting a ton of strikeouts like Araldis Chapman likes to do. But one thing I want to point out to you is that FIP. It's quite higher than that ERA at 4.23. So it shows he has not been pitching as well as maybe that ERA looks. But let's go take a look here when it comes to the Yankees bullpen. So over the last couple of weeks, this Yankees bullpen, they rank 9th. Overall on the season, they're a top 3 bullpen. And but if we go take a look here at the Yankees, let me go pull up the Yankees in the last couple of weeks here. So over the last couple of weeks, actually, Chapman doesn't even have the qualified amount of innings. Oh, man. All right, so I have to hit 0. But let's take a look at how Chapman's been doing. But as you can see here, over the last couple of weeks, this guy has a 5.40 ERA. He has a 7.36 FIP. I mean, these other guys in this Yankees bullpen have been able to step up. But if the Yankees really want to secure, you know, that first wild card spot, which I think they're going to be fine. I mean, maybe they could make a run at this division. I think it seems a little too far at this point. If we go pull up the standings, the Yankees, as of right now, I believe they're 8 games back. Yeah, they're 8 games back. And if we take a look at the wild card, so they're 2 games above the Red Sox for the first wild card as of right now. So, hey, you know, home field advantage in the wild card game, that could mean a lot. So I think Chapman, he's going to be a big deal for the Yankees. Like I said, it's Araldis Chapman. I mean, come on. This guy's been one of the best relievers in all of baseball for quite some time. So the fact that these other guys in the bullpen have been stepping up, Clay Holmes, Loaisaga, Peralta, I mean, these guys have all been stepping up. But you know what? Chapman is their guy. I mean, you could even say Chad Green as well. But you know what? Chapman, they got to get the old Chapman back for that last month. I think if he can be nails down the stretch, I think that's going to be huge for the New York Yankees. So let's move on here. Let's stay in the American League East. Up next, we're going to move on to my Red Sox, and we're going to stay in the bullpen. And I think Matt Barnes is going to be a big reason if the Red Sox are going to want to make the playoffs. If Matt Barnes is able to get himself right, I think he's going to be a big reason for the Red Sox success down the stretch. So let's go take a look at the Red Sox as of right now. So pulling up their bullpen here. This bullpen has been struggling for the Red Sox as of late. So moving on to Fangraphs here. If we take a look here, Matt Barnes has just really struggled over 5 games in the last couple of weeks. A 10.13 ERA and 8.03 FIP. I mean, the guy's still getting a ton of strikeouts, but I mean, this is a guy, he's giving up a ton of runs. He has really struggled. And that Red Sox bullpen overall in the last couple of weeks, if we take a look at the numbers, this Red Sox bullpen, they only ranked 14th overall. I think I'm looking at the bullpen. Yeah, so 14th overall. And actually, if I were to maybe even look in the past week, I believe the Red Sox bullpen actually ranks a lot lower. No, 14th. Okay, so they're still 14th. But this is a bullpen that's been, you know, top 5, you know, a lot this year. So Matt Barnes, he's struggled. Rafael Devers is on. Can I, since I'm talking about the Red Sox right now, I've been posting on Twitter a little bit tonight. I'm watching this Red Sox-Rays game. And this kid, don't get me wrong, I love the passionate Red Sox fans out there. I'm all about it. But oh my God, this kid has been saying, "Let's go Red Sox," screaming it at the top of his lungs. He is the only one. I mean, hey, kudos to the kid. This kid has been screaming, "Let's go Red Sox," the entire game. But I'm not going to lie, it's starting to give me a headache. I mean, I love the passion, but come on. Anyway, I don't know if anyone else is watching the Red Sox-Rays game right now, but holy crap. It is like, I'm going to explode if I hear this kid. It's not the fact that he's cheering for the Red Sox. It's just like this blistering scream, and it's like every 10 seconds. I'm going to lose my mind. Lewis, yes, Garrett Cole pitched a beauty tonight. 15 strikeouts tonight against the Angels? I think Garrett Cole's going to win that Cy Young in the American League. But anyway, moving on, we're talking about the Red Sox here. So the Red Sox bullpen, 14th overall over the last couple of weeks. And like I said, Matt Barnes, he has really struggled. This is their closer. This is a guy, he's got to get it back. He's got to get it together. And if you take a look at, he actually is on the COVID list as of right now. So maybe taking a step away might be actually pretty good for him. But if we take a look, he's actually had a pretty good year. Very solid. I mean, the ERA, you know, that ERA was a lot lower at one point, but he's struggled in the last couple of weeks, so it's ballooned a little bit. But over around 50 innings, this guy's been killing it. 14 strikeouts per 9, not really a lot of home runs per 9, a 3.00 FIP, a 2.70 X FIP. Matt Barnes has been very good this year in the closer role, 24 saves. So he needs to get it together. So Let's stay in the American League East. The last team, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays, I mean, also, I'm not going to talk about the Rays because, you know what, I'm talking about teams that are kind of gunning for a playoff spot or gunning for playoff positioning right now. The Rays are going to win that East. It's done. This Rays team is just so good. Who knows what I'm going to be feeling about the Rays come the end of the season. Man, definitely a good chance, man. I don't know, man. Ever since I went to see the Red Sox Rays in person about a month ago, what I saw from the Rays that night, oh my God, like I was just like, wow, this is just a really good team. Like you watch them on TV and stuff. When you go watch them in person, just such a good team, man. I would not be opposed to maybe picking them for a World Series run. I'm thinking about it. Anyway, but I'm talking about teams that are mainly gunning for a playoff spot or playoff positioning. So I'm not talking about the Rays. I'm not going to talk about the Brewers tonight really either. Yeah, so moving on here, let's talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. So the guy that I think for the Toronto Blue Jays is going to be huge for them. They got this guy at the deadline. He's been pitching rather well for them since coming over. But I think this guy, if the Blue Jays want a chance, I like their offense. Their bullpen has been a lot better lately, but they need to keep that starting pitching rolling. And I think Jose Berrios is the guy where he needs to keep just pitching solid baseball. Let's go take a look here at the numbers. So pulling up the Toronto Blue Jays. So if we take a look at how this Toronto Blue Jays team the starting pitching has been looking overall over the last couple of weeks, they are the first, or they are in first when it comes to starting pitching over the last couple of weeks. 2.90 team ERA, a 2.81 FIP. If we take a look at Mr. Jose Berrios over 3 games in the last couple of weeks, he's been pitching rather well. That ERA is a little higher. He did lose 1 game. I forget what game that was. He got rocked. What was that? Was it the Angels? He's actually gotten hit. He's gotten hit a little bit, but for a lot of the time, like he was good against Kansas City. He was good against my Red Sox. Then he got rocked by the Angels. Then he was fine against the Nationals. White Sox, kind of whatever in that game. Detroit pitched really well. So he's been a little inconsistent, but he has shown very good flashes. So if he can stay consistent down the stretch, I think that's going to be huge for that rotation. And the rotation as a whole has been pitching great. So I think Jose Berrios, if the Blue Jays want any kind of a chance, they're going to need that starting pitching to stay intact. They're only 4.5 out of a wild card game, or for getting a wild card spot. And hey, Jose Berrios, I like me some Jose Berrios. He's got to keep playing or keep pitching solid, keep that rotation intact. So let's move on here. We're gonna stay in the East, but we're gonna go to the National League. Hey, this team was kind of up and down for the whole season, kind of hanging around in no man's land, but they've really turned it on since the deadline. And you know what? I think this isn't a guy that they acquired, but the Atlanta Braves, I mean, this is going to be a familiar name to all of you, but I think this guy, kind of like Jose Berrios, he needs to stay consistent in September, but this guy's been pitching fantastic lately, and that is Max Fried. I think Max Fried, hey, keep doing what you are doing, Mr. Fried. You got something going on right now, and you got to keep staying hot in September, man. If you want the Braves to clinch that National League East, I think Max Fried, he's got to keep up this dominance. So let's go take a look here at the stats. Max Fried, over the last couple of weeks, this guy's been awesome. Over 2 starts, 15 innings, 1.80 ERA. That FIP is a little higher. But Max Fried, he has actually been awesome. If we go take a look here at the numbers for Max Fried, let's go to his game log here. So Max Fried, let's take a look. So here we go. So, I mean, this guy's been great. He had a complete game against the Orioles. Granted, it's the Orioles, but a complete game shutout. I mean, he's thrown at least 6 innings going back to July 28th. This guy's been awesome. He has been, he is 4-1-2-3-4. He's 4-1 since, or he's 4-0 since his last loss. And in that game, he actually pitched pretty well against the Mets on the road. So, I think Max Fried, this Braves pitching staff, if we go take a look at their numbers over the last couple of weeks, Atlanta overall, they rank 18th in starting pitching. That ERA looks very good, but that FIP, it's about a full run higher. They're 5-4 in the last couple of weeks. So I think Max Fried, keep up that dominance, keep up the fine pitching, my friend. And I think Atlanta, I think they're going to be looking pretty groovy for that National League East. They're 2.5 out. That Phillies team, they're getting hot. They're getting hot right now, and they've won 5 straight. My Red Sox, top of the ninth, got 2 on. Christian Vasquez, he's up. 2 singles tonight, solo home run. Can Christian Vasquez be the hero for the Red Sox? Here we go. But the Phillies, they're hot on the Braves' tails. Max Fried, keep up that consistent starting pitching, and I think that's going to be huge for the Atlanta Braves. So, moving on, we are going to stay in the National League East, and since we're talking about the Phillies, I think this guy is going to be huge for the Phillies. The Phillies have actually been stepping up in terms of offense and starting pitching, but that bullpen has been lagging a little bit. This guy's been a little up and down since coming over to Philly, and I think he is going to be huge for that bullpen, and that is Ian Kennedy. I think Ian Kennedy, he came over in that deal when they got Kyle Gibson, and with Ian Kennedy, he's kind of been up and down. He's looked pretty good at times. He's looked good lately. I think he needs to be a force in that bullpen down the stretch, and because that Phillies bullpen really needs it. Let's go take a look here at Philly. If we take a look at the relief pitching, Philly actually, lately, has actually had a pretty good bullpen. They are 4th overall in the last couple of weeks. But if we go take a look at their bullpen for the entire year, they don't rank well. So if we take a look here in terms of relief pitching, starting pitching's been really good this year. But for Philly, their bullpen ranks 28th on the year. Luckily, that bullpen has stepped up in the last couple of weeks. But Ian Kennedy, I think he is going to have to be that guy. They brought him over. I thought that was awesome that they got him. But let's take a look here at Ian Kennedy. So let's pull him up here. What do we got? Philly. Seeing 56 people in the chat. Hope everyone's doing well. See if we can get to 100 people tonight. Can we get to at least 50 likes? I think we could do it. We're at 19 likes right now. Let's get to 50 likes. That's going to help us get out there in the algorithm. But Ian Kennedy, over the last couple of weeks, since August 18th, 2 Wednesdays ago, he's pitched 3 2/3 innings. That's 4 games overall. He's gotten a couple of saves, but he's been rocky. A 4.91 ERA, a 5.07 FIP. If we look at Ian Kennedy, he was really good with the Rangers before coming over. And overall, on the year, he's got a 3.40 ERA. The FIP isn't looking too dandy right there. But look at the game log here. Like I said, a bit up and down. When he first came over to Philly, he was getting hit a little bit there. And then he got, but then he's had some zeros. But then just recently, about 4 or 5 days ago, against the Arizona Diamondbacks, gave up 2 earned runs on a home run. But he did get the save in a couple games later. So a consistent Ian Kennedy, someone that's going to lock it down in that bullpen, keep that bullpen pitching well overall. Hey, if he can get consistent, he's going to take pressure off these other guys. Ian Kennedy, they brought him over for a reason. That was to help that bullpen. So I think personally, sure, you could say Bryce Harper. He's having an MVP kind of a season. You could point out, some other guys in that lineup too. But overall, the Phillies offense, they're 3rd overall in the last couple of weeks. Actually, that's offense and defense. Let me pull up just the offense. Phillies offense is 7th overall in the last couple of weeks. But, hey, top 10 offense, so that's pretty decent. And then if you take a look at starting pitching, they're 3rd overall. So, again, the bullpen, they are 4th overall in the last couple of weeks. But we've seen that bullpen be weak, where the starting pitching has been very good for the entire year. The offense has been middle of the road, but they're starting to really pick it up lately. The bullpen, you can't trust that Philly bullpen, but a good Ian Kennedy is really going to help out a lot if the Phillies want a shot at the playoffs. So let's move on here. here we go. So we're going to stay in the National League. We're going to move over to the Central now. We're going to talk some Reds and some Cardinals. For the Reds, I don't know if this is fair to say this is like a key player. But you know what? This guy's been awesome since coming up this year. And he really brought a lot of energy to that Reds team. And I love watching this kid play, man. This guy's been awesome to watch. But you know what? Hey, Jonathan India, man. Hey, I'm going to say he's a key player for the Reds. He has been slumping a little bit as of late. Some of these guys in the lineup have been slumping overall. Joey Votto's been slumping a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to go with Jonathan India. He really brought some energy, and I'm going to count on this guy for the Reds. If they want to make a run at that wild card, I think Jonathan India is going to be a big piece. You could go with Joey Votto here, but for me, I'm going to go with the kid. I think he's going to be a big piece if this offense wants to. I mean, the offense has been struggling as a whole. Let's pull up this offense here. Cincinnati, over the last couple of weeks, they ranked 29th in offense, which is kind of crazy to me. But if we pull up their offense here, Cincinnati. So India, in his last 12 games, he's only hitting 171. He's got an on base of 261. So he's slumping. This kid has been awesome coming up. If we take a look at his numbers overall on the year, since being called up, he's hitting 270 for the year. He's got 17 home runs, a 381 on base. He's got a 3.3 WAR, a 126 WRC plus. Probably a very good shot he's going to win Rookie of the Year. So I would love it if he can kind of get out of this slump and just turn it on down the stretch, man. Get that energy going again. Votto, I think you could definitely say he's a key player as well. He's that veteran. He's had a really good season, like a renaissance kind of a year for Joey Votto. I mean, who expected Joey Votto to just go on a tear like he did in the last month? But he has been slumping in his last 12 games, hitting only 158. Here comes the Red Sox. Rafael Devers comes home, scores, and the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead. Let's go, Jarren Duran. Let's go. Alrighty, so anyway, but yeah, I think some of these guys, Naquin's been really good. Castellanos has been good. But Farmer, India, Votto, they've been slumping. They need to get these bats going. So I could say any one of these guys is a key player for them. But you know what? For me, I'm going with the kid, Jonathan India. Let's get that spark going again. Let's do it. So here we go. Moving on to the St. Louis Cardinals. Hey, who knows what's going to happen with Jack Flaherty? I don't know what's going to happen. He's having a bum shoulder right now. I guess recently there have been good reports on that shoulder for him. And but who knows if he's going to come back? They haven't really said if he's going to be able to come back this season or not. We'll have to wait and see. But there's one guy that recently did come back, and that is Micholis. I mean, first off, look at the mustache. The mustache is absolutely fantastic. This guy looks like a classic 70s police officer. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? That's like one of the best mustaches I've ever seen. Andrew Chafin and Miles Micholis this year. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? Let's go take a look here. So I want to pull up the St. Louis Cardinals rotation. So, again, losing Jack Flaherty, man, like, that's tough, man. I mean, he's having a really good season this year when he's healthy. He had the oblique problem. Now he's having, something going on with the shoulder. I could have said an Adam Wainwright here, but you know what? I think for Adam Wainwright, he's been just cruising along all season. They need someone to step up in Flaherty's place, and that, to me, it's got to be Micholis, man. Micholis and that mustache. It's got to happen. So since he's come back from having Tommy John surgery, he's pitching 3 games, 13 innings overall. This guy's had some pretty decent numbers so far. If we take a look at 2.70 ERA, a 3.83 FIP, I think this is a guy where, hey, one man goes down like a Flaherty, another guy steps up. I think Micholis, if he can kind of fill the void of a Flaherty, I think this Cardinals team, they're going to have a chance. If we take a look at the standings as of right now, St. Louis, they're 2.5 back of a wild card spot. St. Louis has a chance. They're 6-4 in their last 10. I think Micholis going to be a big reason for the Cardinals if they want any kind of a chance, because you don't even know if you're going to be getting Flaherty back. If you do get Flaherty back, that's going to be awesome, because that rotation is going to be looking pretty decent. But you could also say, again, Adam Wainwright, hopefully they're definitely going to need him to stay consistent. Lester, he's been pitching actually okay. J.A. Happ has been pitching pretty decent since coming over. Kim had a pretty good start the other day. Micholis, man, if he can come back from Tommy John, pitch well down the stretch, that's going to be huge for the St. Louis Cardinals. So let's move over now. Let's go out west. We're going to go back to the American League. We're going to talk some Mariners. We're going to talk some A's. I'm going to leave the Astros off of this as of right now, because I think the Mariners and the A's, those guys are more gunning for those wild card spots, and maybe even gunning for a division as well. But I'm not going to talk about the Astros. Just going to talk about teams that are gunning for a spot. So let's start with the Seattle Mariners. What a team they've been this year. What a fun team, man. A very fun team. But this is a guy, a veteran player on this team. I think if he can have a good September, I think he's kind of like that glue kind of a player for the team. And that is Mitch Haniger. I think Mitch Haniger is a guy for the Mariners. If he can really step it up in the month of September, I think that's going to be huge for the Seattle Mariners. Let's go take a look at the Mariners. We know the Mariners have been a very clutch team. But when it comes to, in terms of overall offense, in the last couple of weeks, they only ranked 20th. So if we take a look at the offense, or at the numbers of these guys in the offense. So I have Cincinnati here. Let's pull up Seattle. Okay, so looking at Mitch Haniger, he's only hitting 184 as of right now. He's got a few home runs in the last couple of weeks, 6 RBIs. He's scored 11 runs. But, he's got to get that batting average up. He's got to start getting some more hits. The on base, it's not the worst, but only a 322. This guy's got to start getting on base a little bit more. I mean, look, he scored 11 runs while only having a 322 on base. So imagine him getting on base even more. He's had a really good season. Actually, his on base over the last couple of weeks is better than it is over the whole year. But if he can just get that on base up more, start hitting a little bit more. I mean, he's got 29 home runs. So I think Mitch Haniger, veteran player for the Mariners. He's kind of like that glue kind of a player for me. You've had some other guys like Ty France has been awesome over the last couple of weeks. Kyle Seeger, average is a little low at 212. On base is a little low. He has been providing some power and some RBIs, though. I almost went with an Abraham Toro, but I figured he's hitting pretty good. But if he can kind of stay that way, I think that's going to be great. But for me, Mitch Haniger, if you can just start getting that average up a little bit, get on base a little bit more down the stretch, I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, you could say any of these guys, like J.P. Crawford, Luis Torrens. If any of these guys can step up, get these, out of these slumps a little bit, I think that's going to be really nice for the Seattle Mariners. So, staying out west, if we take a look at the Oakland A's, I think this guy just got called up this year. Called up for the second or third time. Can't remember how many times he's been called up for the minor leagues, but a top prospect. That bullpen really has been doing better. But if this one guy can step it up a little bit, I think that's going to be huge for the A's, and that is A.J. Puck. A.J. Puck is a weapon for them out of that bullpen, and I think for the A's, he would be huge if he can get it together. So if we take a look at his numbers recently, actually, let's take a look at Oakland's bullpen recently. Over the last couple of weeks, they're 2-4 out of the in the relief pitching. They have a 3.45 ERA, a 4.02 FIP. Let's pull up the A's bullpen over the last 2 weeks. Oakland, here we go. So Oakland, they've had some really decent guys here. Really decent. Pettit has been awesome. Dykman's been awesome. Guerra's been awesome. Romo's been great. But look at A.J. Puck. ERA's high, 7.71 ERA, 4.02 FIP. XFIP looks pretty good, though. If you can get that ERA down, if you can kind of come in, start tossing some scoreless innings, some dominant innings out of that bullpen, that's going to really be huge for the A's. If we take a look at the A's as of right now in the wild card hunt, They're not too far back. They're 1 game back. They're right there. They've won 3 straight. They're 4-6 in their last 10 overall, but they've won 3 straight. My Red Sox have lost 3 straight. Hopefully, they can hang on for the win here. Adam Ottavino coming in to close. How many outs we got right now? Is it 0 outs right now? I can't quite see. Or is it 1 out? I can't see. My eyes are terrible. I think there's 1 out. But hopefully the Red Sox can hang on. We have not been able to beat the Rays. Like, they have been killing us this year. We were doing good against them in the beginning of the year, and then they won, it felt like I don't know, 6 straight or 5 straight against us. I don't know. I think we got a win somewhere in there. We scored 20 runs against them. But the Red Sox, man, get this win tonight. Come on. Anyway, but for Oakland, I think AJ Puck, he's got to be a weapon out of that bullpen. There's a strikeout from Ottavino. 2 out. It is 2 outs. 1 more out to go. Can the Red Sox lock this down? AJ Puck, a weapon for the A's. Hopefully he can have a good September. That's really going to be key for the Oakland A's and that bullpen. So here we go. We're going to stay out west. I only have a few more guys here to talk about. We're going to go over to the National League. We're going to talk some Giants. We're going to talk some Dodgers and some Padres. So the San Francisco Giants, they have had an incredible year, a very surprising year. I don't think a lot of people saw this team leading the division on September 1st. I think this guy, he's been... Oh, we got a super chat. Sober Living was a $2 super chat. What's going on? 34 people on, only 25 likes. I mean, come on. He's calling you out here. Let's get a few more likes, everyone. If we can get to 50 likes, that would be awesome. So thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. Really appreciate that. But let's take a look here at the San Francisco Giants. This guy's been slumping a little bit lately, but he's a key player for the Giants. He's had a really good year. Hopefully he can heat it up for the month of September, and that is Brandon Crawford. Look at those Gatorade jerseys. Look at the Gatorade Softball League jerseys. But at least Brandon Crawford makes them look good. I like me some Brandon Crawford. If he can have himself a good month of September, I think it's going to be huge in terms of the Giants holding on to that division. It's very close right now. We got another super chat coming in. Is it going to pop up on the screen? I'm sorry about that. I don't know if it's going to pop up on the screen or not because I was on that page. Yankees 286. If the Yankees and the Sox in the wild card, chaos, just chaos. Stick around, my friend. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Maybe for a prediction. We'll have to wait and see. But let's take a look. Again, thank you so much for that $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. But let's take a look here at the San Francisco Giants. Right, they've been hanging on to this division lead, but the Dodgers have been creeping, and they find themselves only a half game back. The Giants, as of right now, they've lost 3 straight. I'm not sure what's going on with them right now. They're against Milwaukee, but the Dodgers, they're live against Atlanta right now. They've won 2 straight. They're 7-3 in their last 10. The Dodgers have been just nipping away at the San Francisco Giants' heels. So it's going to be really interesting to see who ends up winning this division. But for me, Brandon Crawford is going to be huge. Let's take a look at the Giants in the last 2 weeks since August 18th. And the Red Sox win it. Let's go. We needed that win. Man, oh, man. That's a good one. That's a good one today. Good one. Chris Sale pitched a good game today. Glad we won that game for him, man. Glad. Red Sox needed that win. Starting the month on a good note. That's what I like to see. But for the Giants, if we take a look, 26 overall in the last couple of weeks. That Giants offense has been slumping, only hitting 207 as a team with a 279 on base and a 374 slugging. That offense needs to step up. Let's take a look at these guys in the offense. Brandon Crawford has been slumping, only hitting 158 over his last 44 plate appearances, only a 273 on base, but Brandon Crawford has been having a really good year. You could even argue maybe even an MVP kind of a year. He's hitting 289, 19 home runs. He's got a 358 on base, a 131 WRC plus, almost a 4 wins above replacement. Brandon Crawford's been awesome this year. But he's been slumping lately, so he needs to get out of this. I mean, hitting almost, a $150. So Brandon Crawford, I think he's going to be huge for that offense that really needs some offense right now. These other guys got to step up too. It's not just him. Wilmer Flores got to get that average up. Flores, Kastremski, what's going on with Kastremski this year? I feel like this is a guy, he was looking really good last year. He's got 21 home runs, but what's going on with this average, this on base? The on base last year was a 400 over the 54 games, a 297 average. What's going on with Mike Kastremski this year? But he does have 21 home runs, so I guess that's okay, but come on, we got to step this up, Kastremski. But Brandon Crawford, I'm going to go with him as my key player for the San Francisco Giants down the stretch. So let's move on to the Dodgers. Hey, they just got this guy back from injury. I know this guy all too well, I just clicked on the wrong one. Mr. Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, when this guy is healthy, when he is on, this guy's a game changer. I think we've all seen it. Look what he did for the Dodgers last year, MVP season in 2018. Look how good that Red Sox team was in 2018. Mookie Betts was amazing that year. And you know what? He was actually heating up down this, going, I believe in August, and then he got hurt. He had something going on with his hip. So let's take a look at the Dodgers offense overall. If you take a look at the Dodgers, kind of like the Giants, they've actually been slumping in terms of offense lately too. They got a lower batting average than the Giants. They got just a smidge lower of an on base. They have the same slugging. I think in terms of the Dodgers, the reason they are slightly ahead of the Giants is they have been walking a little bit more. And I think that's why they have this slight edge. And they also have a slightly better ISO. So definitely something to consider there. But for the Dodgers, their offense is slumping lately too. So if we take a look at Mr. Mookie Betts, so let's go to him. Like I said, he just came back recently. So here we go. Here we go. 0. So Mookie Betts in 6 games since coming back, he's gotten off to a bit of a slow start, a 176 average, but he's getting on base at 364, a couple home runs. But taking a look at Mookie Betts, like I said, he was having a hip problem, just came back recently. He's played 6 games, but Mookie on the year, it's a good year, honestly. He was really slumping there for the first couple of months, and he really started to turn it on. He's at a 272 average, 19 home runs. That on base is still really good. That slugging is still really good. Look at that WRC plus, 143, 3.5 WAR, and he's missed a lot of time. So Mookie Betts is still, in my opinion, just an electric player. Just hasn't been as durable this year, but I think for him, for this offense that's been slumping, putting him back into that lineup, getting some energy back into that lineup, I think Mookie Betts is going to be huge, and I think he's going to be a key player. The Dodgers have been having great starting pitching. The bullpen's been stepping it up, but the offense needs to turn it on. I think Mookie Betts is that energy kind of a player that the Dodgers need right now if they want to win that division, which I think is very winnable. This Dodgers team is very talented, obviously. The payroll is through the roof, a record payroll. The Dodgers, Mookie Betts, get some energy in that lineup. I think that's going to be huge. Let's move on. Last player that I think is a key player for the San Diego Padres. Who would have thought the Padres would be in this point? Let me pull up the wild card standings here. But the player that I think is a key player for the San Diego Padres, in my opinion, I don't really think this is going to be a surprise, really. And that, to me, I think is simply just Fernando Tatis Jr. This guy is in the running for the MVP. He just needs to stay healthy. I think, to me, Fernando Tatis Jr. staying healthy down the stretch and just keeping up that MVP kind of a season, I think that's going to be the key for the Padres. That offense has been slumping. In all of August, actually, that offense was slumping. But let's take a look. San Diego, they are a half game back of the Reds. They've been playing a little better lately, just a smidge better. They're still there. It's crazy. They have been slumping, and the fact that they are still right there, that is just crazy. But let's take a look. San Diego, they need offense. They need offense right now. They are dead last in the last couple of weeks. A negative 20.7 offensive runs above average. They need someone to start stepping up in that offense. Let's go to the numbers for San Diego over the last 2 weeks. If you take a look here, Fernando Tatis Jr., in the last 2 weeks, he's been slumping. A 159 average, a 288 on base, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He's got to step this up. He's got to turn on that MVP kind of form for the Padres down the stretch. Kind of like Mookie Betts. Get that energy going. He is the energy player. He's the spark plug for that team. I mean, there's no doubt about that, in my opinion. I think when Fernando Tatis Jr. is hitting well, everyone's hitting well. It just feels like that team is just... They almost just he just carries them on his back almost. But you have all these other guys that are really good too. But I think Fernando Tatis Jr., he's that guy. He's, in my opinion, you could argue that he is the face of baseball. I mean, Mike Trout, to me, I still feel like is the guy. But just because he's been hurt this year, I think Fernando, he's kind of almost emerged as that face of the game. But for the Padres, when he's good, that team is good and that offense is good. So if he can get it turned around, I think he's going to be obviously a key player for the San Diego Padres. So those are my key players for playoff teams down the stretch. So I'm going to go over 5 predictions for the last month of the season. I'm probably going to get them all wrong. They're probably all good. None of them are going to come true because I'm bad at predictions. What can I say? But predictions are fun. So here is my first prediction. And I'm going to try and back it up as best as I can with numbers. I'm not just going to throw stuff out there. Well, maybe I am kind of just throwing stuff out there. But my first prediction, some of you may have seen it because I clicked it by accident earlier. But my first prediction, Giants fans, please don't kill me. Don't say mean things in the comments. I promise you, I'm on your side here. I want the Giants to get this done. But you know what? I'm going with the Dodgers to finally catch the Giants and win the National League West. I just think this Dodgers team, I think they're just too good. I think there's just too much talent on this team. Listen. Don't get me wrong, Giants fans. I want the Giants to win this division. First off, I think it would be hilarious if the Giants win that division because the Dodgers have like this super team, and they were already really good in the offseason. They've had some injuries, and Trevor Bauer, I don't know what the heck's going on with him, but then they bring in Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. They got a super team. That would be hilarious to me if they lost that division. I mean, I want the Giants to win. I'm pulling for it, but I'm going with my head over my heart here. And I just think the Dodgers have what it takes to win that division. And I think they have what it takes and then some. The talent on that team is just amazing. Let's pull up here. Let's just pull up the rankings overall. So let me pull up the overall standings this year. So the Dodgers, come on here. Come on. This team is good. This team's good. They're third in offense this year. If we take a look, they're second in... Oh, did I click the wrong thing? Oh, yeah, I clicked the wrong thing. If we're looking at starting pitching, they're third in starting pitching for the whole year. And if we take a look at the relief pitching, they're fifth. So they're ahead of the Giants in every statistical category. Where the Dodgers don't do very well, I understand, stats aren't everything. Sometimes it's just about simply winning baseball games. And, what the Dodgers or what the Giants do better at, I will say the Dodgers have been doing a little better lately against teams over 500. They were under 500 in this category at one point. But the Giants all year, 35-29 against teams that are over 500, but the Dodgers, they're only a few games behind here, a couple games behind in terms of teams against teams over 500. So this Dodgers team, they're hot lately. They've been crazy. If we take a look at the breakdown of their schedule, here we go. So month by month, the Dodgers. So they were 16-11 in April, 16-11 in May, 17-9 in June. July, they were kind of up and down, but look at what they've been doing in August. They're 21-6 in August. That's incredible. And but again, they need to start kind of winning these one-run games a little bit more. So actually, let me go to, what have they been doing lately? So let me pull up here. So, hey, they've won 2 straight against Atlanta. They're playing right now. So against Atlanta. So they've won 2 against a hot Atlanta team lately. They swept the Padres. I understand they've had their struggles. They took 3 out of 4 against the Mets. I understand the Mets have their problems, but I mean, they still got some good players on that team. And the Phillies a little while back. The Phillies were red hot at one point, and they took 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. They split with the Astros a little while back. They did lose 2 out of 3 against the Giants back in July. But again, you know, they're 21-6 in the month of July. And they played some okay teams. I mean, like, you played the Braves here at the end for a couple. We're in September now. But again, you really took it to the Mets. I mean, you swept them here, and you won 3 out of 4 here. So you went, 6-1 against the Mets in that month? And then you took 2 out of 3 against Philly. I mean, you know, I don't know. The Dodgers had themselves a really good month. And if we're taking a look here, let me pull up the projections. I don't go completely off the projections, but I like to use it as, you know, kind of a tool. If we take a look here at the NL West, the Dodgers have a slightly weaker strength of schedule. They're at a 505, while the Giants have a bit of a tougher strength of schedule. It's not too much higher, but that could make the difference, where the Dodgers, they're playing a couple other teams that aren't very good, while the Giants, they probably got another series, you know, that's going to be a little tougher. So I think in the end, you know, right now, Fangraphs, they're giving them a 72.9% chance of winning that division. To me, I just feel like the Dodgers, the cream rises to the top. And I'm not saying the Giants are a bad team. I'm not saying that. But you have to come on. You have to agree with me here that the Dodgers are just loaded. I mean, it's nothing against the Giants. I just think it's just the Dodgers. The team is just dumb. And they just got Mookie Betts back. He's healthy. I would imagine Cody Bellinger is going to turn it around. He's just been slumping. I would think this guy's going to turn it on at some point, but Scherzer's been great. Walker Buehler's been great. I mean, come on. Julio Urias has been fantastic. I mean, come on. It's just this Dodgers team, man. You got bats. I mean, you got pitching. The bullpen's been stepping it up. This has nothing to do with the Giants. It's nothing to do with the Giants. I think it's the Dodgers. I just think they're just so good. It's just that team, they were killing it in August. I think they're going to stay hot, and I think they are going to win that National League West. Unfortunately for Giants fans, don't kill me, Giants fans. I'm not against you here. I'm not calling the Giants bad, but Giants fans, I have something for you. I know you hate me right now because I'm saying that the Dodgers are going to win that division, but I got something for you. Hey, I'm on your side here, Giants fans, but I think this guy, again, this is just a prediction. I think this guy is going to have an insane last month. And you know what? Maybe this is a bit of a crazy pick because you got some guys here that, are really killing it in the National League in terms of pitching. But you know what? I'm going to go bold here. I'm going to go with a bold prediction. I think Kevin Gausman dominates down the stretch and wins the Cy Young. I think Kevin Gausman's been very underrated this year. I think this guy dominates the last month, and you know what? I think he's going to steal that Cy Young. Let's go take a look here at the numbers. So let's take a look here. Let me pull up the stats. Here we go. All right, sharing the screen. Kevin Gausman, as of right now, in the National League, you got some talent in the National League, but in terms of starting pitching, Kevin Gausman right now, he's having a good year. So on Fangraphs and also Baseball Reference, he doesn't rank near the top here. Well, he's top 5. Let me go Baseball Reference. Let me pull up those leaderboards as well. Here we go. NL pitching leaders. So in terms of wins above replacement, wins above replacement's a little more. Baseball Reference is a little more kind to Gausman in terms of WAR. They give him a 4.7. I feel like for the voting for MVP and Cy Young and Rookie of the Year, I think the voters tend to look more towards the baseball reference numbers. Fangraphs uses a lot of a lot of expected kind of numbers. They use a little more advanced numbers, where baseball reference is more kind of surface numbers. They do factor in FIP, but Fangraphs factors FIP more and XFIP as well. And that's how they determine their WAR differently than baseball reference. But when it comes to the voting, I think, again, the voters look more towards the traditional stats. If you take a look, let's go back to Fangraphs because they just have everything laid out nicely. Where is the page? Oh, do I gotta find it now? Nope. Let me click out of Mookie Betts. What happened to the page? What happened to it? Nope. This is what happens when you just open up too many tabs. All right, I guess I lost it. All right, so let me go here. Pitching. Okay, starting pitching in the National League. All right, so Gausman, looking at the traditional numbers, the ERA looks good. It compares well to, Walker Buehler. His ERA is nuts right now, 2.05, but Gausman's not too far behind. The FIP is better than Walker Buehler right now. So that's telling me, and also we'll take a look at Kevin Gausman in the last few starts. But Gausman, his FIP is better than Walker Buehler's, but also Zach Wheeler's FIP is really good too. So, but you know what? I'm going bold. I think Kevin Gausman, he also has, and another reason I'm kind of going this route is, again, I think the voters, they don't look at stuff like FIP. They don't look at stuff like XFIP. They don't look at, walks per 9, home runs per 9. They look at how many strikeouts this guy got. They look at how many, wins this guy got. They look at the ERA. And Kevin Gausman's win-loss record, I don't look at win-loss record personally. I think it definitely helps. That's why I think for Walker Buehler, I think a 13-2 record is really going to help his case because it just looks nice. And the voters, some of them are dinosaurs and they still look at win-loss. And I think for Walker Buehler, it's really going to help. But I think for Kevin Gausman, it's a nice-looking win-loss record as of right now. He's 12-5. If this guy goes, 4-0 for the month, let's say he throws like 3 shutouts, his ERA is going to be so low. He's going to be up to 15-5, 16-5 if he gets the wins in those games. He also ranks well in terms of strikeouts. So if we go to just overall strikeouts, Zach Wheeler has the edge, and that's why I think Zach Wheeler, he has the highest WAR. So that's why I think he's definitely leading it right now. But he doesn't rank well in terms of ERA. So Buehler has an ERA a full run lower than Zach Wheeler. So that's why I wonder if Zach Wheeler is going to walk away with this thing. Gausman, he's definitely closer to Buehler. If you look at terms of strikeouts, Gausman, he's a little behind Buehler. He's behind 7 Ks. Wheeler leads that. So to me, I'm going with a bold pick. I'm going Kevin Gausman to just dominate in the month of September and just pull the rug out of a Zach Wheeler and a Walker Buehler. I think it's going to come down to those 3 guys. Maybe you could say a Corbin Burns or Brandon Woodruff in there too. But I'm also looking at the game log, for Kevin Gausman. This guy, the reason I think he's going to dominate, if you take a look at the FIP in the last few starts, he hasn't been able to get out of the 6th. He hasn't been able to go into the 7th inning ever since July 5th. But you know what? He pitched 6 innings in his last start against Atlanta. I think he's going to start working a little deeper into games. While he did give up, he had an ERA of 4.91 against Oakland there. The FIP, he pitched a lot better than what the ERA looked like. In that start, he had a 2.07 FIP. Against the Mets, he had a 2.16 FIP. FIP was a little higher against Atlanta, but he did have a good start overall. This guy's shown that he can get strikeouts. I don't know, maybe the sticky stuff or something. I don't know. He hasn't gotten 10 strikeouts ever since the 10 he had against the Cubs back in June. So he's gotten 9 a couple of times. He's gotten 8 here. But again, I'm going bold. I think he's going to dominate in the month of September. I think he's going to steal that Cy Young. So, Giants fans, please, I know I said the Dodgers are going to win that division, but at least, hey, I'm giving Kevin Gausman here the Cy Young. I think he's going to go crazy in the month of September. I'm calling it. But here we go. Let's move on to my next prediction. We're going to stay in the West. We're going to talk about the San Diego Padres. What the heck has happened to the San Diego Padres? They've had a lot of injuries this year. Offense has been up and down. I mean, the starting pitching, like I said, injuries has been ravaged. The starting pitching, Darvish was out for a little while there. I mean, they got guys getting Tommy John left and right. I don't know what's going on with this Padres team. But you know what? I think the fact that the Padres are still just a half game out, and they have been struggling lately, I think they're going to turn it around in time. They're going to right the ship. They're going to win that second wild card. I think, the fact that they're still here, a lot of these teams, when, they've slumped hard and they're way out of the playoff race. They've just fallen out of the playoff race. But the Padres, they're still right there. And you know what? They have turned the page. They're in a new month. It's September. And I think the Padres hang on and they get a wild card. So let's go here. Let me pull up the projected or the playoff odds. So on Fangraphs, they still give the Padres a chance. If we take a look here, they give, actually, let me pull up, here we go, wild card. In the National League, the Padres, the top two teams, the Fangraphs is saying the Giants and the Reds are going to get the wild cards. And then the Dodgers, whoever, if the Giants win the West, then they'll give the Dodgers a wild card. But they're calling for the Dodgers to win the division. But the Padres, they're still giving a 25.8% chance. I think right now the fact that, they are a half game out, I think they're going to get it done. And I think the scary thing, and I think, so the reason the Fangraphs, the reason they're giving the Reds such a big percent chance is because of that strength of schedule. They have a stupid schedule down the stretch. A 459 strength of schedule? Are you kidding me? They're basically playing nobody. They maybe got 2-3 hard series down the stretch, and that's it. And they're playing easy teams. The Padres have a ridiculous schedule down the stretch. But you know what? I think they just find a way to get it done. I think they just find a way. I think they just start winning games. I think they start getting hot. If we take a look at the Padres, as of right now, they're getting healthier. That offense, actually, I want to take a look. So the offense has been really bad. It's been bad lately. But you know what? It's a new month. It's okay. We're going to flip the script. We're going to turn the page. It's a fresh start. It's September 1st. That offense, they're going to do good. Fernando Tatis Jr., this guy's the face of baseball, or at least one of them at least. He's going to turn it on in September. Who knows? Maybe could win the MVP. We'll have to wait and see. But the Padres, I think they're going to be fine in terms of offense. They still got a whole bunch of bats. But the one reason I'm confident about the Padres is while that offense has been slumping, that starting pitching has actually been doing really good. While, yeah, sure, they're 2-5 in the last couple of weeks out of the rotation. They got a 3.13 ERA. The FIP still looks really good at a 3.51. The XFIP is a 3.29. I think this Padres starting pitching is going to be fine in the month of September. And let's take a look at the bullpen. Their bullpen has been really good too. So let's take a look. In the last couple of weeks, actually, I take that back. I think their bullpen hasn't been very good in the last couple of weeks. So that is something they're going to have to step that up a little bit. The FIP is better than the ERA, but it's still not a great FIP. But I think personally, this Padres bullpen has been taxed a lot. They were having a whole bunch of injuries. They were having to have guys open games, left and right. They had 2 guys in the rotation at one point because, Darvish was out. Who was it? Weathers was out at one point. They were having to have a lot of guys open games. So the Padres bullpen was getting really worked in the month of August. So I'm not surprised to see their bullpen ranked, pretty low in the last couple of weeks. So I think the bullpen, these starters have been coming back for the Padres. Now they're up to a 4-man rotation again. They got Paddock back. I think that's going to be a lift for the bullpen. I think it's going to take some pressure off. They're not going to have to, open a game. But, hey, rotation, it still looks okay. You got Darvish, Musgrove. Musgrove has been looking pretty good lately. Snell's been looking pretty good. Paddock, if he can have a good final month, you could say Paddock could be a key player for the Padres too. If he can stay healthy, I know I said Fernando Tatis Jr., but you could easily say someone like a Chris Paddock, who for him, overall, he was out with a strained oblique, but overall on the year, while that ERA is a 4.98, the FIP is a 3.59. So Chris Paddock has been pitching a lot better than what that ERA looks like. And he's still been getting a decent amount of strikeouts. He's not giving up a lot of home runs. I think Chris Paddock could be huge for the Padres down the stretch. So, I know I said Fernando Tatis Jr. earlier. I don't know, because I feel like this is kind of like the obvious one, and the offense has been slumping, so they really need him. But for Paddock, you could say he's just as big for the starting pitching and for the bullpen as well. It kind of takes some pressure off that bullpen. So for the Padres, I'm expecting this team to turn it around. I think in the end, they're going to get it fixed. They got a whole month here. And the fact that they're only a half game out. I got the Padres righting the ship in time and getting that second wild card. And you know what? The Cincinnati, they've been so up and down this year. I don't trust that Reds team as a whole. Starting pitching has been great, but the bullpen's weak. I don't know, that offense has been kind of up and down. Votto, India, they've been slumping lately. Farmer's been slumping lately. So Cincinnati, I just think the Padres, they have more talent than the Reds. I'm not saying the Reds are a bad team, but to me, the Padres, they got more talent. That's just me. I think they're going to fix it in time. They're going to win that second wild card. Let's move on to prediction number 4. Let's go to the American League. We're done with the National League West now. I just had 3 predictions in the National League West. I said the Dodgers are going to win that National League West. I got Kevin Gausman winning the Cy Young after having a dominant September. And the Padres are going to win that second wild card. Let's go over to the American League. Let's talk about the American League East. My prediction, my 4th prediction, I think these 2 teams get the wild card for the American League. What a wild card this would be. Are you kidding me? What kind of this would be the greatest wild card game, at least on paper, of all time. The biggest rivalry in all of sports. Maybe not hasn't been the same rivalry since 2004, but on paper, come on. Get your popcorn, get your Dr. Pepper. Yankees, Red Sox in the wild card game. That's what I'm talking about. That's Hollywood right there. That's TV. That's ratings. I want it. You want it. We all want it. Red Sox, Yankees. Hey, I'm seeing you. Patrick Dunn, Garrett Cole versus Chris Sale. Come on. Garrett Cole and Chris Sale in the wild card game? Oh, please give it to me. I don't even care if the Red Sox lose that game. I'd be sad. I'd probably cry myself to sleep. But, come on. What a pitching matchup that would be. Oh, that would be fantastic. Come on. I want it. I need it. I need it in my life. But right now, actually, the Red Sox just won. So they are now 2 games behind. And the Yankees won earlier as well. So they're very close. No disrespect to Oakland or Seattle. The Red Sox, whatever. The Red Sox, a lot of people were saying that this Red Sox team weren't going to make the playoffs. I said all offseason, or at least when they started making these moves in the offseason, bringing in a Kike Hernandez, a Garrett Richards, guys like that. I was saying, for the Red Sox, and they were going to be getting guys back like Eduardo Rodriguez, Chris Sale, when he came back. I was saying, don't be surprised if this Red Sox team is in it. A lot of people were calling me crazy for saying that, saying, oh, Giraffe Neck Robbie. Well, come on, Giraffe Neck Robbie. You got to cut it out, man. But I don't know. I saw it. I was like, I don't know. This looks like a pretty good team. I've watched a lot of Red Sox teams over the years, and I looked at this team, and I'm like, it's not a bad team. It's a pretty good team, but I think a lot of people were thinking of how bad they were in 2020 over that 60-game schedule, and don't get me wrong, they were bad. But for this year, They've been playing together. Alex Cora, he's been great for that Red Sox team. You just see this team. They're just playing with a different kind of an energy. They just seem more together. And I don't know. I don't know. I see this Red Sox team. They're just playing really well. And they haven't been playing well lately, but for the whole season, going back to the beginning of the season, they've just been playing solid. Sure, they've had their slumps, but I am getting some lag. Hold on, everyone. I am lagging. Are we good? Are we good? Oh, here we go. Cool. All right, we're good. We're good. Jared Cole. Oh, thank you, Jared Cole. I appreciate that. If you think I'm strong, you don't even know what else is out there, my friend. You don't even know. But taking a look. Sorry about the lag, everyone. I don't know what happened because my internet was fine, but I think this is going to be the wild card game. Don't get me wrong. I like Oakland. I do. I just feel like I think the Yankees are definitely getting a wild card. I think that's at least a wild card. Maybe they could make a run at the division, but the Rays, I just think this Rays team is too good. I think they're going to hang on and win that division, but the Yankees, they have been amazing. They had an amazing August. Actually, let me pull up the Yankees. 2021. The 2021 Yankees. Very up and down all the way up until the end of July. But in August, holy cow. This team, they went 21-8 in August. A 724 win percentage. Easily their best month. So, started kind of getting some life in July. But then August really turned around. I think they're going to play solid in September. I'm not worried about the Yankees. I've been saying all year, I picked the Yankees to win the World Series. I'm just saying. John Boy the whole year, Yankee fan, saying, nope, this team's not making the playoffs. Nope. And I'm sitting here saying, well, hey, how about if they go make a move? Go make a couple of moves. I still think there's a lot of talent on this team, and I still think they can make the playoffs. Go to my midseason rankings. I still put them as a playoff team while John Boy is out here saying, nope, not going to make the playoffs. I had more faith in the Yankees than Yankee fans, and I'm a Red Sox fan. How does that work? Anyway, but I think the Yankees are fine. In terms of the standings, for the Red Sox, they slumped a little lately. They've definitely not been great, but I still believe in this offense. In the last couple of weeks, they're 8th in offense. They've had a couple of run out bursts, so maybe that's inflated just a little bit, but we all know this Red Sox offense has bats. Come on. And they also did have some guys go on the COVID list, which actually makes that win even more impressive. No Xander Bogaerts tonight, but you got Rafael Devers, you got JD Martinez. You're going to have Xander Bogaerts back soon. Kike Hernandez, he's going to come back eventually. Alex Verdugo's been hitting well lately. Bobby Dahlback's been hitting bombs lately. Bobby Bombs is coming alive for the Red Sox. You're just having Christian Vasquez, having a good, clutch game today, getting a home run. But I think this Red Sox offense is fine. The starting pitching for the Red Sox this year, it is what it is. It's not going to be, superstar starting pitching. But these are guys. Actually, let me pull up here. I got so many tabs open right now. I got to close some tabs. Hold on, let me close out some of these tabs. Hold on, let me pull up the Red Sox on here. Here we go. Let me go to, here we go. So the Red Sox in the last couple of weeks. Nathan Ivaldi's actually looked pretty good. So the Red Sox, Chris Sale, he actually looked really good tonight. Nathan Ivaldi's looked pretty good lately. Look at the FIP, a 1.94 FIP over 10 strikeouts per 9. Eduardo Rodriguez has been slumping a little. Tanner Houck a little bit too. Nick Pavetta. I'm actually seeing Nick Pavetta this Sunday at Fenway Park. I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully Nick Pavetta can get it turned around because this guy has been garbage in his last 3 games. A 10.13 ERA, a 7.66 FIP. I was kind of hoping we were going to see Chris Sale. I thought he was going to be pitching Sunday, but he's lined up for Monday. Pretty disappointed about that. But anyway, but they have some guys. Martin Perez, he went to the bullpen recently too. Let me actually go to the Red Sox starting pitching. Actually, look at some of these guys. So Xander Bogaerts went on the COVID list. Munoz. I always want to say Munoz. Whatever, Munoz. I mean, you killed us in that Indians game, my friend. You were in the way of the runner, and you cost us the game. Come on, my guy. Come on. But yeah, so you got Sawamura went on the COVID list. Hunter Renfroe is back, so I'm pretty happy about that. But if we take a look at the rotation as it is right now, Chris Sale's been looking good. He's been looking good. And, I think tonight was the real test for Chris Sale, looking good against Tampa Bay. Hey, Tampa Bay's offense is no joke. Eduardo Rodriguez, this year, he has not been doing great in his last couple of starts. But against Cleveland, he actually pitched pretty good against Cleveland. He pitched 7 innings. He gave up 3 runs on 8 hits. But overall for him, the ERA is a 5.12, but the FIP is a 3.48. So I'm okay with Eduardo Rodriguez. I think that's going to be fine. And then Nathan Eovaldi's been good lately. Tanner Houck, I think he has, potential to be able to get in a couple of good starts there. Nick Pavetta, he's been pretty good for the whole year, but lately he's just been kind of whatever. He gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks against Minnesota last week. He's been fine. He's kind of come back down to earth. He was looking really good in the beginning of the year. I figured his numbers were going to start climbing back up a little bit. So I'm expecting from Pavetta going against the Indians. I'm expecting, 3-4 runs against the Indians. Who knows? Maybe he gets it back on track and, twirls a bit of a Jemmy gem. But, I think for the Red Sox, I'm okay with that starting pitching. The one thing I'm a little worried about is the bullpen. So, again, we looked at the Red Sox bullpen earlier. I think Matt Barnes is going to get it turned around. He has not looked great in the last couple of weeks, so we looked at his numbers earlier. Through 5 games in the last couple of weeks, a 10.13 ERA, 8.03 FIP. Let me actually go to the standard numbers here. Yeah, Matt Barnes. He's given up 3 runs over his last 2 2/3 innings. A home run there. That was, but he still struck out 6 guys. So I'm okay with that. Martin Perez has been just kind of whatever in that bullpen. I'm glad he's out of the rotation. But Hansel Robles, I don't know. He throws hard. That's pretty much it. Ottavino, ERA, he hasn't given up any runs. Ottavino is just such like he walks a tightrope, man. He walks a tightrope. I mean, look at this is exactly what you need to look at. If you want to know if a guy is walking on a tightrope, just look at the ERA to FIP. Look at the ERA. It's a 0. And then a 4.92 FIP and a 6.17 xFIP. That's how you know if someone is giving you a heart attack. So, but they have been getting, Garrett Whitlock has just been amazing this year. He pitched pretty good tonight. Garrett Richards in this bullpen for the Red Sox going into a setup role. He's been awesome in the setup role. I think that's a great role for him because he's got a nasty slider. He's got okay velocity. I don't want to say okay, good velocity. He's been fantastic in the setup role. So, Josh Taylor has been really solid, very underrated this year. I'm okay. I think this Red Sox team, I think they're going to hang on, and I think they're going to be able to get that second wild card. Now, do they win that wild card game? I don't know. If you got, Chris Sale, Garrett Cole in a wild card game, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm very confident with that, especially with the way this Yankees team has been playing lately compared to how the Red Sox have been playing lately. I don't know. It's going to be tough. So, but that's what I think. I think the Red Sox, Yankees, I think they both, the Yankees definitely will get the first wild card, I think. But I think the Red Sox hang on. Whatever. Call me Giraffe Neck Robbie if you want to. That's fine. Call me Giraffe Neck Robbie. It's okay. But I think the Red Sox, when I'm looking at it, and no disrespect to the A's, because they've been pretty good too. Let me actually look at the A's right now. So the A's, the offense in the last couple of weeks has been kind of whatever, a negative 0.6 offensive runs above average. That offense has been slumping a little bit. Starting pitching in the last couple of weeks. Oakland, if we take a look, Oakland, they are, where are they? Where is Oakland? How am I not seeing Oakland? Oh, there they are. I mean, look at Oakland starting pitching in the last couple of weeks. 28th overall. That FIP looks bad. The 4.99 XFIP looks bad. The Red Sox have had their struggles, but their numbers are looking a little better, I guess, and they're getting more strikeouts. So that's one thing about the Red Sox. They're getting a few more strikeouts than the A's. The Mariners, I just don't know if the Mariners are going to be fully there at the end. I mean, it's been a great story this year. They've really kind of advanced that timeline a little bit, but I don't know if they're going to have enough. I think personally, even if I'm not a Red Sox fan, I'm looking at these three teams. To me, I'm looking at the talent on the Red Sox. I'm looking at how well they've played all year, minus a couple of hiccups here and there. I'm looking at this Red Sox team, and I'm thinking they're, to me, the better team out of those three. But also, if I'm looking at the relief pitching, so again, the Red Sox have been struggling a little bit out of that bullpen. They've had some guys struggling, but Oakland lately as well, they're not doing too hot either. So the Red Sox have been getting some better numbers out of the bullpen. It's not too much, but they're getting a few more strikeouts. Oakland's ERA is better. Their FIPs are similar. XFIPs are similar. But the Red Sox are doing a little bit more. They're also throwing more innings. So they're giving up less home runs as well, a 0.87 home run per 9 compared to Oakland's 1.42. So that's something to consider. To me, I think the Red Sox are going to hang on to that second wild card. I don't think a September collapse is going to happen. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, this is the 2011, Red Sox all over again." Well, first off, no, it's not, because that was the greatest team ever, or the greatest Red Sox team ever, and I don't know. This team is not that, and I don't know. At least I don't think any guys are eating chicken and drinking beer in the clubhouse. I don't think that's happening anymore. So I think the Red Sox they're going to find a way to hang on to it. We'll see. But let's go to my last prediction before I get out of here. I've been here for about a couple hours now. Has it really? No, I've been here for about, hour and a half. So let's go to my last prediction. Here we go. This one, maybe a bold one. Braves fans, I'm going to break your heart here. But you know what? I'm going bold. I think Bryce Harper stays hot. Oh, look at my grammar. Harper stay hot. I meant to say stays. Harper stays hot, wins the MVP, leads the Phillies to an NL East crown. You know what? I think it's time. It's time for the Phillies to just take advantage and just get that National League East. So let's go here to the standings. So as of right now, Philly, they're only 2.5 back. They've won 5 straight. The Braves have lost a couple in a row here. The Phillies are hot on their tails, and the Phillies have been putting up some good numbers lately. So the Phillies, their offense is 7th overall, while in the last 2 weeks, while Atlanta is only 18th. If we take a look at the starting pitching, Philly has had great starting pitching this year. They are 3rd in the last 2 weeks, while Atlanta is only 18th. If we take a look at the bullpen, Philly's bullpen, we talked about it earlier. They've been stepping up. They're 4th overall in the last 2 weeks, while Atlanta is 25th. The Phillies are playing better baseball lately. And you know what? I think they carry it into September and they get it done. Joe Girardi puts this team in the right spot. He has these guys ready to win. Harper, though, is going to be huge. I think Ian Kennedy is going to be a key player for the Phillies. I talked about him earlier. But Bryce Harper. Let's go talk about Mr. Brycey Bryce. Here we go. Looking at the offense. No, I don't want that one. Again, too many tabs. What is wrong with me? Where are you? Did I close out the tab? Whatever. Let's go. Batting. Ugh, I hate when I have to do this. Fangraphs. I wish we didn't have to do the bouncing back and forth thing. here we go. So, Philly. Alrighty. So, Bryce Harper continues to just put up whatever numbers he can for the MVP. He's been awesome in the last 2 weeks. Hitting .367. Herrera's been really good too. Brad Miller's been really good too. But for Harper, a .458 on base, a .735 slugging, a .204 WRC plus, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Harper's been fantastic. So let's take a look at the leaderboards for the National League. So right now, Bryce Harper on Fangraphs is leading the WAR category, a 5.3, a slightly ahead of Fernando Tatis Jr. I think, because this is my prediction, I think the Phillies, because they're going to win that National League East, Bryce Harper, they're going to say he's a big reason for it. Sure, Fernando Tatis Jr. has 10 more home runs in less games. He's got more RBIs. He's got more stolen bases. But I think Bryce Harper, he's going to be red hot. He's got a better batting average. He's got a better on base. Tatis Jr. has a better slugging. But Harper has the better WRC plus. So I think in the end, Harper, he's just going to go on a tear down the stretch. He's going to put that team on his back. The starting pitching is good. The bullpen's been doing better lately. I think Harper carries this team to a National League East crown, and they get it done. So those are my key players for the playoff race down the stretch in September, and those are my predictions. So everyone, I want to thank you for joining tonight. Not a busy stream tonight. I think the most I saw was around 60 people, but I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Again, I want to let you know I will not be doing a live stream on Sunday night like I usually do. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be in Boston. I'm going to be going to a game. So everyone, I do apologize. I won't be here. I will try to go live again tomorrow night. I might do hot takes. I might do something. I don't know. I'll come up with something. But I would like to do another live stream tomorrow night. So be on the lookout for that. If I don't do a live stream, look out for a video. Maybe both. We'll have to wait and see. But everyone, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Have a good rest of your night. Have a good day tomorrow. And I'll talk to you next time.